wind up getting these disorders are on medicine for life. And instead of the medicine count decreasing, it increases. So the pharmacist loves to see it when a person's been diagnosed with one of these disorders, because they know they've got a customer for life. They have a job for life. A question came up during the break about, is there a way to reverse any of this? Can you jumpstart an organ? Can you fix certain things? Constantly taking the medicine and following what most doctors give us? No. There's no way of getting out of the cycle. Majority of the doctors see this, and I don't know if they actually teach this in medical school. I've never taken a class in any school where it says, oh yeah, get your patients to get addicted to medicine and then, you'll make everybody happy. Pharmacists and everybody. I've never heard anybody legitimately say that. But by the time a person gets to the doctor who has one of the disorders I'm going to be talking about today, they've developed some habits that suggest to their doctor they can't break these habits. Because these diseases don't happen overnight. These diseases happen over a lifespan, or majority of a person's lifespan. And as they say, it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. I disagree with that. I think people can change if they know. I have a little bit more trust and belief in a higher power to say that he's not going to leave any of us unprotected and force any of us to stay in a certain bad situation. So the focus of the doctors is not to give you solutions that's going to lead to you getting off the medicine. Their focus is to keep your numbers down. I talked to one physician with a family member, and they kept saying, well, we're going to do this and do that. I said, but okay, let's look at the pattern here. This person's coming back and forth, back and forth. You're giving them more and more medicine, and the problems are still there. Well, my job is to make sure that this count is where it needs to be, or that count is where it needs to be. So their issue is maintenance. Not cure, not prevention, just maintenance. And I'm saying to us that if we want to reverse this process and be more responsible for our bodies, we've got to look at prevention. And if someone happens to have one of these disorders, we need to look at a way to maintain it, number one, and number two, reduce the impact of the disorder on their body. One of the things that Nafis was told by his doctor is that he had one blood vessel that was 100% blocked, a second blood vessel that was 90% blocked. The doctor fixed the 100%. They went in, they did some stuff, and they fixed it, alhamdulillah. The 90% they couldn't get to. And I'm scared. I'm thinking, okay, I know Allah's God, but if I know this, let me at least say something about it to see if the doctor can look at this in a different way. Doctor, my husband got a 90% blocked blood vessel. He's not going to stop making cholesterol. By the way, our body makes cholesterol. And he's not going to stop eating foods that have cholesterol in them. So it's just a matter of time before this 90% gets plugged up all the way and he has another heart attack. The doctor put me at ease. He said, that blood vessel that's 90% blocked is behind his heart. If the doctor went to fix it, he would have to crack his chest open and do open heart surgery, which adds additional risk to his body. He said, if he keeps doing what you're telling him to do, and doing those things that he's been doing, because the doctor was looking at his numbers shocked. He actually took him off some of the medicine because his numbers were starting to get better. So he was doing something right. And so the doctor said if he keeps doing things that are right, his body is going to make an additional blood vessel that will bypass the one that's blocked and then cause that part of the heart to get the nutrients, the blood, the stuff that it needs. Remember I said Allah regulates things? Remember I said Allah has these pillars built in place that holds things up? The body sends out stress signals when it's going through changes. The body tries, with Allah's guidance, the body tries to fix things. Now if he's eating the same stuff he was eating before he got sick, under the same stress load he was under before he got sick, then yeah, he's going to have another heart attack. But if he backs away and starts doing things differently and reading more and more the signs that Allah is putting in front of him, the doctor said the chances of him getting that additional blood vessel is pretty high. He goes back to the doctor 6 months later. Numbers are looking real good. Another 6 months, I'm taking you off this medicine. So our goal is to get him off of a couple more medicines. Okay? This is an example of what happens when we neglect our body. I heard Sheikh Islam, Imam Islam, a couple of Eids ago, say at the Eid feast, he was 85 years old, and he didn't take any medicine except for multivitamins. 85 years old. This does not have to be our legacy that we leave to our children. This does not have to be a normal thing that we accept, that we're paying money to pharmacists to keep their children educated so that they can enjoy their lives and have their vacations. Our vacation money is disappearing. Even with insurance, we still have to pay a lot of money for this medicine. This does not have to be our legacy that we leave. And we don't have to continue this either. So I'm throwing all this out there to say even more that we need to take care of our body. And if I'm not going against any supplement company, any pharmaceutical company. That's not my goal. But if I need to take additional stuff, what am I eating? Cardboard? I'm supposed to be getting this from my food. So what am I eating every day? Cardboard? Actually, cardboard has nutrients and it comes from trees. So I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to liken it to. Actually, I do, but I'm not going to go there right now because I don't want to be picking on anybody particularly. Okay, I'm not messing with diabetes anymore for today. Next disorder. That's the heart. Oops.
As the blood travels from through a network of arteries and veins, what we commonly call blood pressure is the measurement taken when the heart's left ventricle contracts and blood is forced through the arteries. As the blood travels from the heart, it exerts pressure against the walls of the arteries. This is referred to as blood pressure. Blood pressure is used to evaluate the force and amount of blood being pumped from the heart, as well as the flexibility and condition of the arteries. There are two components of a blood pressure measurement. The first is the systolic pressure, which is recorded when blood pressure is at its maximum during contraction of the left ventricle. The second component is diastolic pressure. This measurement is obtained when the blood pressure is at its lowest point, when the heart is at rest between beats. The combined measurement is read as the systolic pressure over the diastolic pressure. Abnormally high pressure within the arteries is called hypertension or high blood pressure. Hypertension is usually diagnosed when blood pressure measurements are higher than 140 millimeters of mercury systolic and 90 millimeters of mercury diastolic on 3 seconds.
Okay. No, don't go anywhere. Come back here. Just a second. Okay, sorry. Okay, just to break for a bit. So here you see a pathway, a canal. There's a whole network of these that travels throughout our body. This is an image of the heart. The heart has a major blood vessel that feeds it blood. And that blood is coming from the lungs. That blood vessel that feeds, actually it's two of them, they feed the heart. As the blood is coming from the lungs, it is filled with oxygen. The oxygen bonds to some molecules that are in the blood and converts the blood into a reddish color. Oxygen is one of the molecules that's in the blood, and it turns the blood red. So one of the things we have to have is oxygen. We get the oxygen by inhaling. The blood that has the oxygen is coming from the lungs. That's where the blood meets up with the oxygen, then it goes back into the heart. This blood pumps through the heart and is going to go out into the rest of the body. It goes into a smaller pathway, and that pathway runs throughout the length of the entire body. This pathway. This pathway is narrower than the original spot. So the heart is